Maria is taking a shower in the bathroom. Her phone was on the table, vibrating slightly. Someone had sent her a message. Needless to say, it's Mark again. I'm sorry. I suddenly fell ill, and I have to trouble you to take care of me so late. Will Joseph be angry? I glanced at the text message, picked up the kettle on the table without changing my expression, and poured myself a glass of water. Maria has always been taken care of by others, and it is really rare for her to take care of others. Once she had a fever, and I stayed up all night to take care of her. After she recovered, I was infected with the disease. She just said to me calmly, "How can you be so useless? You can't even take care of others, and you still get sick. You just cause trouble for me." She never really cared about me. Who says Mark is her Prince Charming? As the saying goes, what you can't get will always make you restless. She and Mark knew each other since childhood, and they were childhood sweethearts. Mark had no one to take care of him, so he returned to his grandmother's house in the countryside. The two were forced to separate at the age when they were just beginning to fall in love. After so many years, she didn't wait for Mark, but waited for me, a capturer who is 70% similar to Mark. She treated me as a substitute and was eager to get married, but I had to pursue her because of the system mission. It's something we both want. However, less than a year after the wedding, Mark showed up again. The real Mark was back, so I, the substitute, was no longer popular. But it didn't matter because I was leaving soon anyway. The system told me that my third anniversary was the day my strategy expired. I asked back, "What's wrong? Is there something wrong?" She shook her head doubtfully. No. Maria sat on the sofa, not knowing what message she sent to Mark. I took a look at the gift from the worker, and the binding was clearly opened and tied again. There was a greeting card on the binding, which read, "For Joseph," but if you look closely, there were traces of black pen smearing on the sides of the word Joseph, and you can vaguely see the word reply. Oh, even if the gifts are given to cover up one's guilty conscience, they are the ones that others don't want. I tore the card in half and threw the gift box into the trash can. I don't have the habit of picking up other people's trash. "Joseph, help me cut some fruit so I can eat it later." Maria yelled to me in the bathroom while blowing her hair. She loves to boss me around, especially in such a trivial matter. If you don't do it, she will complain that you are unwilling to do even the smallest thing, are petty and narrow-minded. If you do it, whenever you encounter similar things in the future, she will be like a porcelain doll with broken limbs that can't take care of itself, and will always ask for people to serve her. No matter what you do, she always has an excuse. But this time, no matter what she said, I didn't have to watch her brush her teeth and go to the bathroom to take a shower. Everything was no different from usual. Maria stared at me as I completed a series of washing tasks. When I was about to go to the second bedroom, she finally couldn't help but call me. "Joseph, you are not right today. Is there?" I answered casually. Maria, on the other hand, had a complicated expression. "Are you angry?" she asked me. Sex daily indication. Is there anything that can't be discussed calmly? You're being cold and violent for no reason. You know that's too much? Maria was obviously a little impatient when she saw that I didn't say anything. She was always like this. Speak nicely. I almost never succeeded in communicating with her. When I asked her to keep her distance from Mark, she mocked me for being petty. Mark wouldn't be like you. When I spent her birthday with her, she laughed at me for being too vulgar. Gold doesn't hold its value. The cake Mark gave me is more meaningful. Maria did not come home all night, and I confronted her. She scolded me for not trusting her and having dirty thoughts. Now, I don't have to talk to her. I don't even have to speak. There was no point in saying more, so I ignored her and turned to close the door, but Maria blocked the door first. She looked at me angrily, as if I had made a terrible mistake. "You looked at my phone, didn't you?" Maria asked me, not to mention that I just glanced at it accidentally, even if I deliberately looked at it. What would be the problem? What can't be seen between husband and wife? Unless the other party has something to hide. What's in your phone are nothing but some shameful chat records with Mark. What's worth seeing? I sneered. Maria heaved a sigh of relief after hearing this, with a hint of pride on her face. "Are you jealous?" Before I could refute, she spoke first, with a tone of condemnation and contempt. "Mark is sick. As a friend, it is my duty to care about him. Is his life less important than a meal for you? Joseph, if you have anything to say, Just say it nicely. I don't like you to be cold and violent and lose your temper with me because of a small matter. You'd better reflect on whether you should make such a fuss. Maria's arrogant look really made me laugh. You're right. I nodded repeatedly. Mark is still sick. Don't waste your time here. Go to his house and stay with him, or just stay at his house. By the way, do you want me to call a taxi for you? What did you say? Maria's face fell. Joseph, do you know what you were talking about? Her face was tense, and her eyes were fixed on me. I was used to it. It's just that I feel that if she gets a little angry, I will be patient and coax her as usual. She got used to it too. I was used to her moodiness, and she was used to my humbleness. Therefore, when she used her usual tricks again and I remained unmoved, Maria panicked for the first time. Did you hear me? She demanded loudly. So what if you heard it? I said. Maria was stunned for a moment. Then she yelled at me with a fierce look in her eyes. It's our wedding anniversary, and I didn't come back for dinner. Is that a big deal? Of course not. As she said, it was just a meal. It makes no difference to me whether she comes back or not. In other words, I should thank her. Fortunately, she didn't come back, so I didn't have to face her stiff and cold face. But now that she's back, we can't avoid a big fight. You just deliberately told me to go to Mark's house to piss me off, right? Joseph, can you be any more childish? Maria rolled her eyes and continued. Sometimes I really think you are unreasonable. The conscience of heaven and earth. When I told her to go to Mark's house, I meant it from the bottom of my heart. After all, I don't want to spend the last bit of time completing the system task in irritability and depression. Since you think I'm unreasonable, why not get a divorce? In fact, according to the system, within a week after I complete the task, I can leave this world and return to my original world. It's just a week. It doesn't matter whether you get divorced or not. However, I wonder if I file for divorce, will Maria fly into a rage and call me mentally ill, then slam the door and leave? Or will she warn me not to be ungrateful while secretly rejoicing to go with me to get the divorce certificate and then rekindle her old relationship with Mark? No matter which one it is, I won't suffer any loss and I can have peace and quiet. Maria opened her mouth slightly and was stunned for a long time. Is it interesting? She asked me, frowning. Joking about divorce is fun, right? Joseph, can you be more mature? A series of harsh criticisms came down on me. I had no time to blame her. I just smiled at her calmly and said, Are you going to divorce or not? Give me a definite answer. I looked at her jokingly. I guess she would say divorce. After all, she was eager to reconcile with Mark. She didn't dare to mention divorce before because of relationship reasons. But now that I'm bringing it up, can she let go of this opportunity? She is not stupid. Psycho. There should be a limit to losing your temper. Joseph, don't go too far. Unexpected. Instead of her leaving in anger, she cursed at her. But compared to before, she was already patient enough. But it was just when I didn't need her. I thought it was a little funny. Why don't you answer my question directly? Are you afraid? You can't be reluctant, right? After saying the second sentence, I even made myself laugh. Perhaps because he was facing the liberation of the system, he became a little too proud of himself and asked such a thoughtless question. Maria pursed her lips, her eyes growing more angry. We stared at each other for a moment. Finally, she was somewhat moved. There's no point in arguing any further. Maria began to pack her luggage. I won't be back tonight, so think about it carefully. She left after saying this. She seems particularly easy to talk to today. In the past, when I quarreled with her, she would always slam the door and leave. After all, this is not the first time that she loses her temper and leaves in the middle of an argument so that she can find her lover with a legitimate excuse. Once she left in a huff, and I spent the whole night looking for her. It was raining heavily outside, and the weather was getting colder. The rain soaked my trouser legs and shoe edges, and I was shivering with cold. Later, I had no choice but to call Mark and ask him for help. I said, Maria and I had an argument, and she ran away in anger. Now it's late at night, and the weather is bad. I still can't find her. I'm very worried about her. Can you help me look for her? What's the result? The man smiled nonchalantly. Maria? She said she was in a bad mood and came to talk to me. It was raining heavily, so I let her stay. She has fallen asleep now. Raindrops dripped down the edge of the umbrella and onto the screen of my phone. After hanging up the phone and logging out, The homepage showed that it was already 1:30 in the morning. I was so angry that I couldn't sleep all night. Before dawn, I was woken up by a system task saying that I did not find Maria in time. The task was overtime, and I needed to make up for it immediately and go to Mark's house to bring Maria back. Otherwise, I would be punished. I had no choice but to go to Mark's house and beg her to come back. Do you know you're wrong? Maria looked down at me. I looked up at her too, but I couldn't see her face clearly. Everything was blurry in front of my eyes. I nodded. I was wrong. Come back with me. Then I fell to the ground sick. Maria used to be so unreasonable and stubborn. She is totally different from her today. But who cares? She's gone after all. At least the goal has been achieved. I slept comfortably until dawn. As soon as I opened my eyes, Mark sent me a message. It was a photo of Maria sleeping in his arms. Joseph, Jiu was in a bad mood yesterday and stayed at my house. Nothing happened between us. Please don't misunderstand. The strawberry mark on Maria's neck hasn't disappeared yet, and there's another one underneath. It's hard for Mark to find the right angle to take the photo, especially for me. But why bother? It is humiliating to take something that others care about and destroy it. It is like a dog picking up garbage to chew on something that others don't want. I yawned and replied, "Really? That's a pity." I got up leisurely, washed, ate breakfast, and even went out for a walk after a long time. Maria was very angry this time. She didn't go home for 3 days and didn't contact me. I felt extremely comfortable. The previous fatigue and humiliation were at least relieved in these few days. It wasn't until the 4th day that Maria contacted me. "I have a fever and am now receiving in the hospital. Come and stay with me." His tone was still calm, almost an order. If it were in the past, I might have gotten angry and argued with her. But now, I even feel unlucky when I scold her. "Where's Mark? Isn't he with you?" I asked after taking 2 puffs of my cigarette. "Why do you always mention him?" Maria raised her voice. Obviously, she was unhappy that I was talking about her childhood sweetheart. "Yes, Mark is the Prince Charming that I've been dreaming of, the childhood sweetheart who's reunited with me, the official male lead, the real deal, and I'm just a stand-in. How could I have the right to gossip about him? Haha, ridiculous. I'm busy. Please go talk to Mark." I didn't want to talk any more nonsense, so I hung up after a few perfunctory words. Maria didn't give up and called me again. I looked at the caller notes, hung up calmly, and blocked her phone number. There are only a few days left, and I just need to wait quietly for the time tunnel to open. I don't want to ask about the rest. I made a cup of coffee, sat on the sofa, and listened to some music. Half an hour later, the door was suddenly pushed open with a bang. "Maria is back." "Joseph, you are going crazy for no reason." Maria strode over angrily, knocked over the coffee in my hand, and scolded me angrily. The coffee spilled all over me and burned my arm. Maria was stunned, as if she had not expected it to turn out like this. Her body froze, and she couldn't help but clench her fingers. I slowly went to find a towel to wipe off the coffee that had spilled on me. "If you hadn't gone too far, I wouldn't have done this." Maria's tone softened, but she didn't show any sign of remorse. "Forget it. I'll go get you a medicine box." She still had that arrogant attitude, which was disgusting. "No need." I stopped her. I rinsed it with water and applied some ointment, then asked her, "What are you doing here?" I don't know if it was my tone or my expression that irritated her, but she became emotional again. "You're still asking me what I'm doing here." Maria frowned. "I'm already in the hospital receiving 4 drips, and you can still say such cruel words to me." "Joseph, there should be a limit to your jealousy. How many times have I told you that there's nothing wrong between Mark and me, but you're narrow-minded and think everything is dirty? What can I do? I don't understand. Will you die if you behave yourself? You're already a grown-up. Can you be more stable? Joseph, you weren't like this before. Why did you suddenly become so unreasonable?" Maria said a lot in one breath. I didn't hear a word of it. I just knew she was farting. "Are you done?" I rinsed out the coffee cup. "You can leave now." "Are you done?" I rinsed out the coffee cup. "You can leave now." "Joseph." Maria was furious and wanted to slap me twice, but her hands were already in the air and somehow she didn't slap me. She took her hand back and looked at me with disappointment. "If you don't change your ways, what's the point of our marriage?" I smiled and spread my hands. "Yes. There is no point in the first place. Didn't I mention divorce to you last time? If you don't reply to me, what can I do? Maria was stunned for a moment. It's already come to this. Do you still want to say something angry to make me angry? Angry words? It's not necessary. It's really not necessary. When I get home, you can be with your Mark as you wish. I pushed her to the door. Now give me some space to go. Maria just sat there quietly, not saying a word and not eating the fruit. And KL, fuck from one. You loved to laugh when I was young. I always took you out to play secretly, and you forgot to go home. Later, something happened at home, and when I went to my grandma's house, you told me that you would wait for me forever. Mark grabbed Maria's arm. Does it count now? Maria couldn't help but frowned. Mark, She thought of Joseph. HKDJ. Sorry, Mark, I'm not feeling well today. I'd better go home first. We'll meet again next time. Maria didn't dare to face Mark, so she ran away. She walked aimlessly on the street. People were coming and going around her, but she had no intention of paying attention. She had always believed that even without the system's blessing, the results would be no different. Joseph will always be with her and will always tolerate her. Even if she suddenly abandons Joseph, Joseph will have no regrets. Until she heard the conversation between Joseph and the system, Maria felt very upset, and she walked to her sister's house unknowingly. As soon as she reached the door, Maria bumped into Lisa. Hey, sister, why are you here? Lisa opened the door in surprise and said, I just went to your house to look for you. I made too many dumplings and wanted to give some to you, but you were not there. Only my brother-in-law is at home. Is Joseph okay? Return the light, but go. How to say, feel the nature of residence. Lisa pulled Maria to sit on the sofa and casually picked up the nut plate beside her and handed it to her. Did you have a conflict with your brother-in-law? When I brought him dumplings today, he said he wanted to go home. Did you know about this? I can't figure it out. Hey, where can my brother-in-law go back to? He won't stay there forever, will he? I don't know if it's far away or if I can see him again. Sister, don't be angry with my brother-in-law, or he will really leave and you won't be able to find him back. But the more I don't want to think about it, the more this question lingers in my mind. She recalled what Joseph had said during their last argument. Let's get a divorce. This was the first time Joseph filed for divorce. Maria admitted that for a moment, she was really panicked. After all, his expression was so serious that it didn't seem like he was joking. Why would he suddenly ask for a divorce? He obviously loves her so much. In the past, no matter how Maria made trouble, Joseph would tolerate her. She thought that he would be tolerant and patient forever, until the end of his life. She thought that Joseph's love had nothing to do with the system. But it was all just her fantasy. She was just being self-righteous. He changed. Suddenly, just after the system announced that the task was completed, Maria was caught off guard. She wondered, how could things turn out like this between them? Maria and Mark were childhood sweethearts, and it can be said that she had a crush on him since she was young. Maria has been thinking about Mark for more than 10 years, and it has almost become an obsession. Even she herself believes that she must have Mark in her life, and Joseph is just a substitute. She didn't care whether Joseph was sincere to her or not, as long as Joseph still had 13 hours left before the time tunnel opened. These 13 hours were really long. It was even longer than the 3 years I spent as Maria's bootlicker. I quietly enjoyed this quiet and short time. Uncle, can you take a picture of me? Suddenly, a little girl popped up and said to me, Okay. I took the children's watch with a smile and took a bright photo of her. I sighed and said, I'll give you 1 minute. If you have something to say it quickly. If you have something to say, fart quickly. A few days ago you said you wanted to divorce me. Were you serious? You chased me here just to ask this? I really don't understand what Maria is thinking. Yes. I answered her. Why? No reason. You told Lisa you were going home? Yes. When asked this question, Maria smiled with a hint of self-mockery. She took a deep breath and then said to me, I apologize for what happened before. Can you please stop making trouble? You're apologizing now? It's been almost a week. I laughed. Maria was choked by my words. She lowered her eyes slightly, not daring to look at me. Joseph, why do we have to fight to the death? I don't know why Maria came to me and said something weird. Wasting my time. Can you leave now? I asked her. Maria said nothing, but her heart suddenly skipped a beat. Stay. I promise you, I won't look for Mark again. She asked. Me. I looked into her dark eyes and answered slowly. No, never. Leaving Maria behind, I returned home. After the mission is completed, the player Joseph will return to the original world, and this world will collapse and become nothing. Report completed.